How was your Thanksgiving, sir? Oh my gosh, how did they? I don't know.
Okay, so this is the fourth row. We're going to draw. Yeah, I'm teaching right now. So, you know, even though you thought it was nice, I actually want to do this. And I hate when people talk once I start writing. So be silent. So we're going to draw the atoms in the fourth row of the periodic table. So we did the first 3 rows yesterday, hopefully, or Tuesday. Hopefully most of you were here. So there's 2 rules I'm going to give you. One for the first 2 elements, which would be potassium and calcium, that's 19 and 20. And then another rule for the ones after that, because things change after number 20. So we'll write the 2 rules and then I'll draw them all for you. So elements 19 and 20 follow the same rules as the first 18. So for example, if we look at potassium, and while you're taking notes today, it's helpful if you have a periodic table out so you can look at it. So potassium is the first one in row 4, so it's going to follow the same rule. We're going to start a 4th electron shell when we draw potassium, and that 4th shell is going to get 1 electron because it's the first element in that row. So I'll draw potassium over here. So K is the symbol. Potassium in the center, you have 19 protons, and I think it's 20 neutrons.
This is an example.
Yeah, so you can draw this off to the side. I'm going to write the other rule under that. Okay, so there's the nucleus, and then, like everything before it, we're going to have 2 electrons in that first shell. We're going to have 8 electrons in the second shell. And then if you remember from Tuesday, if you go up to argon, argon has 8 electrons in the third shell. So we're also going to put 8 in the third shell. And then space these out here. So what I have so far for the electron shells looks like argon. Now we're going to add 1 more electron, and since potassium is in the 4th row, we're going to make a 4th shell for that extra electron. 1 electron in the 4th shell. Which should be 2, 8, 8, and 1 in the 4th shell.
Wait, how do you know how many potassium?
So if you do the ones that we did before, right? Look across the second row in the periodic table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the second row filled up with 8. Third row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the third shell filled up with 8 also. And then when we get to potassium in the 4th row, we'll 1 electron in the 4th shell. All right, so potassium's like that. When I do calcium, it's going to get 2 electrons in the 4th shell. So let me do calcium also, just to do a little bit of overkill here. Let me draw it here. So 20 calcium, so that's going to be 20 protons, 20 neutrons. And I'm just going to write the numbers because I'm getting tired of drawing these electrons. So the first shell is going to have 2. I'm going to put 2 and draw the electron shell. Second shell is going to have 8. This is basically the same as what's there, right? The first 3 shells, 8. This should be an 8. And then 8 in the third shell. And then what's going to go in the 4th shell? 2, right? Just 1 more electron as we go along.
So can we do that for now?
Yeah, you can use numbers now from now on instead of drawing all these electrons. Okay, so far this followed the same pattern as the first 3 rows. But now the rules change after number 20. And so this part is what this whole lesson is about. So this is elements 21 through 30. We add electrons to the third shell as we go along. Not the 4th, the third shell. So what's going to happen now is, after calcium, The next element's still going to have those 2 electrons, the 4th shell, but we're going to add to the 3rd shell. Am I going too fast or is everybody caught up? All right, I'll wait for a second. So just to review again, as we went along each row, we would add electrons to the outermost shell. So as we were going through the 2nd row, we were adding electrons to the 2nd shell. 3rd row, adding electrons to the 3rd shell. And same thing up till calcium. But now we're changing that role. Now we're going to go back to one of the rows that's not the outermost and add more electrons there. So let's do scandium, which is 21. And scandium's mass is about 45. So we're going to do 21 protons and 24 neutrons. Okay, so the first 2 shells are going to be the same. It's going to be 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 in the second. You know, this is never going to change for anything higher than neon. But now, we're going to have 9 electrons in the 3rd shell. And then the 4th shell still has its 2 electrons. And this is kind of why this group has its own sort of separate spot, right? Why it's broken up like that. So it's these ones that don't have anything above them that we're dealing with here. Those are the ones we're adding electrons to the 3rd shell. All right, 22. 22 is titanium. And that's 22 protons. 20. It's going to be 26 neutrons, is that right? Okay, so it's going to be 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in the 2nd shell. Now I'm running out of space. Everybody has the potassium drawn. And how many in the 3rd? 10. And then 2 in the 4th. And so this is the pattern, 21 through 30. You want me to do vanadium, however you say it? Oh, we got it? All right, so as you go along row 4, that's going to be 11 in the 3rd shell, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So zinc will have 18. Oh, let's do zinc actually. That's the last one in here. So zinc is number 30. So zinc is the last of the transition metals in row 4. And so it's going to have 18. So it's going to fill up the 3rd shell. And 30 and 35. 30 protons, 35 neutrons. So it's going to be 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 in the 2nd. And you could count, right? You could start with scandium and you could say, well, this has 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 electrons in the 3rd shell. And then there's still going to be 2 in the 4th shell. And after zinc, that's the end of it. After number 30, then we go back to filling up the 4th shell. So for number 31, gallium, we're going to put electrons in the 4th shell again. So let's do 31. All right, so 31 is gallium. And that's the mass of gallium. 70, so 31 and 39. Okay, so we're going to have 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in the 2nd. It's the one right after this. So the 3rd shell is full. From here on, any higher numbers, the 3rd shell will never go any higher. 18 is the maximum. So it's 18. And then the extra electron now is going to go in the outer shell, so we'll get 3 in the 4th shell. And then as you go from here, right, it's going to be germanium is going to have 4 in the 4th shell, arsenic is going to have 5, selenium 6, bromine 7, and krypton 8. So now we're going to finish filling the 4th shell. You want me to draw any more of those? Yes? Any guesses? Come on, I like drawing.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, let's do one more. Let's do germanium.
I just said one more.
All right. Or I could do the last one, bro. I don't care. So germanium is 32. What's the mass? Okay, so 32 protons and 41. Is that right, neutrons? Okay, so it's going to be 2, 8, 18 in the third, and 4 in the fourth shell. So again, as we go along from here, we're just filling the fourth shell. 5, 6, 7, 8. Krypton will have 8. That's the last one at the end of the row. And as a rule, when you get to this last column here, you should be filling the last shell with an 8th electron. Okay, that's this last group. We good?
Yeah.
All right.
Worksheet time?
Worksheet time.
What is it, Rafa?
Yes, actually, I gave you guys a break on Thursday and Friday from worksheets. So, and I'll give you another break in about 3 or 4 weeks.
That's what we're
Wait, who's doing the camera now?
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice.
Yeah.